Hello everybody, Shalom. First of all, I want to give all praise to the Most High and His Son Yeshua. Hope everybody is having a blessed day. Our prayers for the people out on the East Coast, in the midst of Hurricane Florence. Hope that everybody is safe. I'm coming to do this video. Pissed me off. I'm just gonna straight up say it. So, here it's about midnight. It's a little bit after midnight, but I'm still up working. If y'all can see the stuff behind me, yeah, I'm up working. But I was going back. My husband was going to sleep. I was going back to tell him good night, and he was like, "Look and see what they trying to put on him now." And I was like, "What?" And so he looking at the news. So I started looking at the news. So basically, what they did was they released a list of evidence that was found in Botham's apartment from the night of the murder. Mind you, let me say this. Mind you, today was his funeral. Okay, so you have people that are grieving. It's fresh because it was his funeral. The document was just released during his funeral. So basically, the list of evidence had, of course, it appears to be some things that that Officer Geiger must have left in there. It was a bag, like some kind of police paraphernalia. Guess what else was on that list, y'all? Some marijuana and a marijuana grinder. When I saw that, my mouth just dropped open. I was like, wow. So this is what they want to do. This is what they trying to do now with it. Basically assassinating that man's character. Now, out of all the testimonies that I've heard that people have given about Botham and his his character and how great of a person he was, there has been no one that has come forward with any negative or damaging information about him. And apparently there was nothing on his background, criminal background check, because nothing was released by the news. Normally when there is something criminal, any kind of charges, they can be 20 years old. If it's something on a person's background, something that looks like us, this kin, if it's something on their background, they're going to release that. Even if this person is the victim, even if this person is dead, they will release it to assassinate a person's character, to make it seem as though whatever happened to them, it was justified because this person used to sell drugs, or this person got caught up in this and that, whatever. But obviously they couldn't find anything on Botham. So, and this is my honest opinion, they planted drugs in this man's apartment to make it appear as though he was a weed head. Now, in my video, my testimony video, I talk about how I used to, back when I was younger, how I used to smoke weed. I'm not ashamed of it. That's my past. That's what I used to do. To be a person who smokes weed, normally you hang around people who do the same thing. Birds of a feather flock together. Okay? When you smoke weed, you're familiar with the weed look. Generally, and this is not trying to stereotype or judge people, but generally you have a certain look to you. Especially if people knew you before and then they see you afterwards. There's things about your complexion that change when you smoke. Specifically, your skin darkens. Obviously, your lips get black. You might have changes in your eyes. But there are certain characteristics that you pick up on when a person smokes weed on a regular basis. And they showing the same picture over and over of Botham on the news where he's smiling. And if you see the picture of him, his skin is bright, it's clear, it looks healthy, his lips are pink. So if he did dabble in it, he didn't do it on a regular basis. Okay? And I don't know. I don't know him personally, so I can't testify to what he did behind closed doors. But see, what Amber said was his door was ajar. So that's how she was able to gain entry without using her key. His door was ajar. One thing I know about a person who smokes weed is, especially if you got something to lose, like if you're working, if you're working a really good job, which Botham was an accountant. He was working for a really good accounting firm, or he was working for some kind of firm, but he was an accountant. When you have something to lose, you're a little bit more paranoid when you do things like smoke weed. You're not going to leave your door cracked and you got weed in your house, or you smoke it. Because if you've ever smelled weed smoke, it's very pungent. When you smell it, if you smelled it before, if you smoked before, when you smell it, you know exactly what it is. And so the way this apartment complex is set up, the apartment doors are not outside to where if his door was cracked and he's smoking and weed is just going up in the air. No, it's a hall. It's closed in. So if somebody was to walk by there and he was smoking, you would smell it walking by the door, especially if the door is ajar, as Amber said. You see what I'm saying? Common sense. That's common sense, but they're not thinking common sense. All they're thinking is, we got to put something on them. We have to make it seem as though this was justifiable. We have to put something on him. Because if you think you're going into your apartment and just hypothetically what they're thinking is, and he's in there high, he probably was acting weird. And if you think you're in your apartment and you're giving commands and he's not following the commands, maybe he was so high that he didn't understand what you were saying. You know what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm going with it? The depths that they would go to try to assassinate this man's character. Now, at the church, right after the funeral, family members and the lawyer that's representing Botham's case, they're coming out of the funeral, fresh out, and the news media is outside with their cameras. And so as soon as they come out the door, they're running up to them and saying, "Look, did you see this?" Giving them a phone, showing them the list of evidence. Right after they leave out the funeral. And they get to reading it, and the lawyer's like, he looked disappointed. And as a professional, you're not supposed to show your emotions, but he looked disappointed when he saw that, because he knew that they done planted something on this man. And he said exactly what I said to my husband. They are trying to assassinate his character. It's a shame that they would go to this level to assassinate his character. And now I alluded to in my last video, based on his middle name being Shem, that there's a great possibility that he was a descendant of Israel. At this point, there's no doubt. He was a descendant of Israel. The fact that they would go to this depth in order to make him look bad, in order to strengthen their case that Amber Geiger shooting him was justifiable. It's just a low. It's a low. And now I didn't have very much faith in the justice system based on the history of convictions and the lack of indictments when a police officer shoots an unarmed black man or a black woman, whoever. There wasn't much faith in this system anyway. But the fact that they would go here on a man that has nothing, they couldn't find anything bad about him, so they have to put something on him to make him look bad. And that's just sad. It's sad. So we're gonna have to be even much more in prayer about this situation. Whatever God's will is in this situation, whatever the Most High's will is in this situation, let His will be done. But I do believe that when we come together in corporate prayer, that there's power in that. You heard it all the time in the Christian church, and like I said, I think they got some things right. There's power in it. Now, I used to smoke. And I wasn't like all the time, like all day long, because I worked. I would do it when I didn't have anything to do, when I knew my day was over and I had nothing else to do, because I was in school at the same time getting my master's. So when I knew I was done with my work, when I knew I was done with school work, that's when I would do it. But even the little bit that I did do, my lips used to be black. My lips used to be a lot darker than they are. My skin complexion used to be a lot darker than it is now. So when you go from smoking to not smoking, I saw a change happen physically. I felt a change in my body, and I began to see a change happen in me. And I'm looking at this man's picture, and I'm like, there's no way he was smoking on a regular basis like that. It just doesn't make sense. Not the narrative that they're trying to put out there. It just doesn't make sense. So y'all, please, I know this hurt the family. I know, because the way I felt when I saw the story, I was mad. So I can only imagine how the family feels. So y'all, please keep them lifted up. Please keep them in your prayers. The family, because this it looks like a long road ahead. So that's it. I didn't have anything else to say about it. Y'all watch the news. I told y'all, watch the news, see what's going on with our people. See what they're trying to do to our people. There's some stuff going on right now with us, y'all. A lot of injustice going on with us right now. So y'all watch the news, stay up, stay woke, pay attention, stay safe, stay in prayer. And that's it. Y'all have a blessed day. Shalom.